want to go over first the anatomy of a brush. And there are 3 different parts. There is the handle right here, usually wood, it could be metal. And then the bristles, the hair, and these come in different shapes, sizes, and material. And then this part right here, it's called a ferrule. And a ferrule is what combines the handle and the bristles together by either crimping or gluing it on and then gluing this part on right here. So in making my own handmade brushes, I use just a couple of things that you can buy at a convenience store or a hardware store, and with a little bit of elbow grease, you can make your own. So I want to show you a finished brush and ferrule first, or a handle in a ferrule. I use something called a shaker's peg, and these are used for coat hooks. And the complete piece looks like this, and you can see there's a smaller piece here, and this is what would normally go into a baseboard to hang your coats. And then this is just PVC pipe, and they come in, I'd say, about 3 feet. And what you need to do is make sure that your shaker's peg fits into your PVC pipe. Now, I got a set of 8 shaker's pegs for about $5, and the PVC pipe was about $2. So my argument is, why would you spend $10 on a nice brush when you can make 8 handmade brushes that are probably even better? So in order to combine these 2 pieces, what you're going to need is some epoxy. And again, I recommend buying the shaker peg first and then going to the hardware store to make sure that this fit is nice. There is a little bit of wobble to this, and that's really good actually, because when we put the glue in, it will create a nice seal. Now, you can use a couple of different types of epoxy. You can use an expandable glue like Gorilla's glue. If you use that, you will have to bind the seam, and I can show you that. Once I glue this one together, this is a 5-minute epoxy right here, and you're going to need just a little bit to start off with. About that much. Now, if you didn't know, if you have larger syringes of epoxy and you want to keep them, draw back on the syringe. And what that's going to do is create a nice air bubble right here, and it's going to keep better. It's not going to ooze out. I also recommend, if you can, storing it just like that. Okay. So when you apply the epoxy, I always apply it to the wooden part. I wouldn't go inside of here because you don't know how far you're going. I should also mention that I cut these from a longer strip, but I made sure that it was longer than this because I have to put my bristles in. So I cut it about double. And you can see that here. So when it goes in, there's still enough room right there. So I'm going to be a little liberal with this because it is not an expanding glue like Gorilla Glue. If it was an expanding glue, I would be a little bit more conservative because it expands and all the surfaces will touch and glue together. And then all you need to do is put it on. Now, if this was an expanding glue, I would take duct tape and wrap that seam because everything is going to expand and it's going to try to push out. So I'll tightly wrap duct tape around it and leave it overnight because it's going to expand and it has to cure. So this is a finished one. In this case, I did use a Gorilla Glue. And you can see I'm trying to twist it, nothing, I can't get it out. And now what that's formed is a nice hollow section, and this is my ferrule right here, where I can put the bristles in.